You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad you can be here. Thank you for joining me on another episode of All Things Sports with Mike Davis. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to our Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. I won't take up much more of your time. Let's get into it. So, normally I start the show off going straight into sports, but I wanted to touch on something that I saw on Netflix, with me being what the show is about. I can't admit I've kind of gotten away from it the past few years, but there's a show on Netflix called Sneakerheads. Now, I very much related to the show, and it's going to be some spoilers, so spoiler alert. But what it seems like, well, not what it seems like it is, but apparently there's a shoe called the Zeros, the Nike Air Zeros, and they are, it's a group of people. They are on the hunt for the shoe. At one point in time, the shoe even takes them to, out of the country looking for the shoe. And I thought it was a great show. It's only 6 episodes. So I hope that there is a season 2. And it kind of shows how the hype beasts also have killed the shoe game. The prices for these shoes have gotten outrageous because of hype beasts. And it's one of those things where you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. There's nothing you can really do about it. A lot of these guys, they have runners to go to one store while they go to another store, then someone else goes to another store, and they just rack up on the shoes and sell them, for a high price. And, it shows some of that, but I thought that the show was very good. So if you get a chance, check it out. The show is called Sneakerheads on Netflix. If you are a shoe head, such as myself, where you like more than just Jordans, you can't just be a Jordan guy and call yourself a sneakerhead. So if you are like me and you've experienced some of this, I've experienced, going and standing in the line late at night, standing in the line early in the morning, hunting down a shoe. I've done that before. So I've experienced some of the things that they've shown on this show. But again, the show is called Sneakerheads on Netflix. It's 6 episodes. You can binge watch it and check it out. It's a great show. All right, so moving right along, let's get into why we are here, sports-wise. So yesterday I reported about the Steelers and Titans game being postponed. Well, it's been postponed past Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Well, the Pittsburgh Steelers Tennessee Titans game will not be played during week 4 following 2 additional positive coronavirus tests among Tennessee Titans, the NFL announced Thursday. Now, according to a statement from the NFL, 1 additional Titans player and 1 personnel member tested positive for COVID-19 on Thursday, which is yesterday. Now, the Titans added cornerback Christian Fulton to the reserve COVID-19 list yesterday. Now, that comes after 4 players, starting nose tackle Daquan Jones, and linebacker Kamali Correa, and long snapper Bo Brinkley, and practice squad tight end Tommy Hudson, and 5 team personnel members tested positive earlier this week. Now, the announcement comes a day after the NFL said that the game, which had originally been scheduled for Sunday, had been postponed to Monday or Tuesday. That game is now postponed indefinitely. They're going to try and come up with a date where these two teams can play later on, but they will not play this week. So pretty much both teams will essentially have a bye week, so to speak, this week. Again, like I said yesterday, people, if you can't stay 6 feet away from other people, go ahead, do yourself a favor, do everybody else a favor. Protect yourself, protect others, and just wear a face mask. I know it gets hot under that thing. You can't wait to get to the car to take it off. Honestly, I see some people driving in the car with it on, which is kind of mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling to me. I mean, you're in the car by yourself, but I mean, hey, to each his own. So, but again, be safe, wear your mask, be mindful of others. You might not know that you have it. You might not know that someone else has it. So just be mindful of others and just wear your mask. All right, so let's cross the board. Let's go baseball. So it was announced that that Major League Baseball is going to allow 11,000 fans at the NLCS World Series games at Globe Life Field. Now, the league's announcement marks the first time that fans will be allowed, pretty much in a regular setting in a stadium since spring training in March. Now, per the Rangers official team website, Globe Life Field has about 40,000 seat capacity over 7 different levels. Now, if 11,000 fans were to attend the games, then roughly 28% of the stadium would be filled. Now, a total of 10,000 fans will be in the seating bowl, with an additional 900 fans permitted into the suites. Mask wearing will be mandatory unless fans are eating or drinking at their seats, and hand sanitizing stations will be available throughout the park. The NLCS will begin on Monday, October 12th, and the World Series will start on Tuesday, October the 20th. So, with that being said, shout out to baseball. Shout out to baseball. Baseball is finally going to let fans back in the seats. Like I just said, there have been no fans in any major league stadiums since spring training. When the teams were down in Florida and over in Arizona preparing for the season. MLB pretty much just shut the whole thing down as far as fans coming in. But it looks like they are going to now allow fans in for the NLCS World Series at Globe Life Park. A lot of stadiums are getting back to normal. It's almost like the world is watching the sports world. Well, I won't say the world, but I'll say the United States. It's almost like the United States is watching to see how the sports world handle the COVID-19 situation, and they kind of just go accordingly. I also saw that the Atlanta Falcons, they're going to start letting fans in, a set number of fans, back into Mercedes-Benz Stadium starting sometime this month. I don't know when this month, but I did see that it is going to be sometime in October that they will start letting fans back in. So kudos to fans that's going to get to see some baseball live. I wouldn't mind going, but unfortunately I have to be at work. All right. So did anybody else hear the breaking news today that Doc Rivers is going to the 76ers? I'm not going to spend much time on this, but I just wanted to give a quick 2 cents on Doc Rivers to the Sixers. I wish my Hawks had gotten him, honestly. But at the same time, I don't think Doc Rivers is that great of a coach. I kind of lump him in that Lenny Wilkens. Look, the guy, he's failed quite a bit. He got his championship with Boston, but I look at Boston as like they were just guys on a mission. They were trying to get that. Well, not saying that no one else in the league is trying to get a ring, but you had the big three with Garnett, Pierce, and Allen, and they were really on a mission to get that first championship ring for each of them. I just think that Doc Rivers is like an above average coach. I honestly think Philly, for what you're going to get in Doc Rivers, you could have just got Mike D'Antoni. I mean, at least Mike D'Antoni's been to a conference finals. Granted, yeah, I know he didn't win a finals, but let's be real. It's not like Doc Rivers has won an NBA finals recently. So I don't know. I'll get into the whole Doc Rivers to Philadelphia, that whole thing in the next podcast. And also we're gonna touch on Kyrie Irving maybe throwing shots at LeBron James, saying that Kevin Durant is probably the most clutch player that he's played with. He's going to play with in his career. Hey, look, that's all I got for you today, folks. I thank you for including my podcast into your day. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff. Go to the Facebook page to get in contact with the show for comments or suggestions. You've been listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis. And remember, it's your world. I'm just giving my opinion. I'm out. Peace.
You're listening to All Things Sports with Mike Davis.